Hello, everybody. All right, so let's continue chapter 9. Today we're on lesson 9.2. We're on page 371 of the third grade textbook. And our topic today is compare fractions with the same denominator. And the essential question that you should be able to answer at the end of this lesson is, how can you compare fractions with the same denominator? All right, so let's look at the unlocked problem. Jeremy and Christina are each making quilt blocks. Both blocks are the same size, and both are made of 4 equal-sized squares. 2/4 of Jeremy's squares are green. 1/4 of Christina's squares are green. Whose quilt block has more green squares? All right, so it told us 2/4 of Jeremy's squares are green, and 1/4 of Christina's are green. Okay, so circle the two fractions you need to compare. We did that. 2/4 for Jeremy, 1/4 for Christina. How are the two fractions alike? The denominators are the same. Okay, so when I say the denominators are the same, that means that there's 4 equal parts in both of their quilt blocks. Okay, but Jeremy has 2/4 of his shaded. Christina has 1/4 shaded. So if we compare Jeremy's to Christina, if we compare 2/4 to 1/4, we should see that 2/4 is bigger than 1/4. So the greater fraction will have the larger amount of the whole shaded. So the math idea, you can compare two fractions when they refer to the same whole or to groups that are the same size. In this case, they were both equal fourths. So Jeremy has more green squares. Okay, we can also compare fractions of a group. So let's look at this one. Jen and Maggie each have 6 buttons. So they have the same number of buttons in their groups. Okay, shade 3 of Jen's buttons to show the number of buttons that are red. Shade 5 of Maggie's buttons to show the number that are red. All right, so I told us shade 3 of Jen's, shade 5 of Maggie's. All right. Now, write a fraction to show the number of red buttons in each group. All right, so Jen has 3 out of her total of 6 buttons are red. Maggie has 5 out of her 6 that are red. There are the same number of buttons in each group, right? The collection is the same size. So we can count the number of red buttons to compare the fractions. 3 is less than 5, so 3/6 is less than 5/6. So Maggie has a greater fraction of red buttons. So when the denominators are the same, when something that we're comparing has the same equal parts, we can just use the numerators to compare. So that makes it really easy. All right, well, we could also use fraction strips and a number line. So let's look at it this way. At the craft store, one piece of ribbon is 2/8 yards long. So one ribbon is 2/8 yards long. Another piece of ribbon is 7/8 yard long. If Sean wants to buy the longer piece of ribbon, which piece should he buy? All right, let's look at the note over here. On a number line, a fraction farther to the right is greater than a fraction to its left. Okay. On a number line, a fraction farther to the left. On a number line, a fraction farther to the left is smaller or less than a fraction to its right. So 1/8 will be smaller than, say, 5/8. So the farther to the left, you're getting closer, like, say, 0. So compare 2/8 and 7/8. And we can do that by setting up two fraction strips or a number line. So shade 2/8 and 7/8. Okay. And the other one was 7/8. Draw and label the points on the number line to represent the spots the distances 2/8 and 7/8. So if this is 0/8, the next one is 1/8, 2/8, 3/8. So we're increasing by 1/8 each mark. And we stop at 8/8. All right, so one point is at 2/8, and the other mark is at 7/8. All right, so compare the lengths. 2/8 is to the left of 7/8. 7/8 is here, so 2/8 is to the left. It is closer to 0/8. Is it closer to 0/8 or 8/8? So is it closer to the smallest number on the left or the biggest number on the right? 7/8 is to the right. I'm sorry. I read this incorrectly. Sorry. 2/8 is to the left of 7/8. It is closer to 0/8 or 0. Okay, if you have 0/8, that's equivalent to 0. 7/8 is to the right of 2/8. It is closer to 8/8 or 1. So 2/8 is less than 7/8. So Sean should buy, I'm sorry, 2/8 is less than 7/8. And 7/8 is also greater than 2/8. So Sean should buy the piece of ribbon that is 7/8 yard long. All right, we could also use reasoning to solve these problems. Anna and Omar are decorating same size bookmarks. Anna covers 3/3 of her bookmark with glitter. Omar covers 1/3 of his bookmark with glitter. Whose bookmark is covered with more glitter? So we have 1/3 and 3/3. And so the reasoning part comes in, as I mentioned on the previous page. When the denominators are the same, the whole is divided into same size pieces. You can look at the numerator to compare the number of pieces. Both fractions involve third size pieces. 3 pieces are more than 1 piece. So 3 is greater than 1, right? So 3/3 is greater than 1/3. In one case, I have 3 1/3 pieces, and in the other, I only have 1 1/3 piece. So the 3 1/3 pieces would be more than the 1. So Anna's bookmark is covered with more glitter. All right, page 373, number 1. So as we continue practicing this, it'll become fairly obvious to you, okay? Draw points on the number line to show 1/6 and 5/6. Then compare the fractions. Okay, so here's 1/6 and 5/6. Compare the fractions. 5/6 is to the right of 1/6. 1/6 is closer or is farther to the left. So 1/6 is less. 1 piece is less than 5 pieces. Compare, write less than, greater than, or equal for 4/8 compared to 3/8. Again, the denominators are the same. So 4 pieces is greater than 3 pieces. So 4/8 is greater than 3/8. 1/4, 1 piece, is less than 4 pieces. The denominators are the same, so I know they both have equal amounts of equal parts. This one only has one of them, in a sense shaded. This one has all 4. So 1/4 is less than 4/4. Okay, 1/2, 1/2. 1 piece equals 1 piece. So the fractions are equal. 3/6 compared to 2/6. 3 pieces is greater than 2 pieces. So 3/6 is greater than 2/6. Okay, number 6. All right, so both of our fractions have 4 parts, 4 equal parts. The first fraction has 2 pieces, which is less than 3 pieces. So 2/4 is less than 3/4. 2 pieces equals 2 pieces. So 2/3 is equal to 2/3. 4/6 compared to 2/6. So we have 4 pieces, which would be greater than 2 pieces. Okay. So 4/6 is larger than 2/6. 0/8 compared to 2/8. Well, this time we have 0 pieces, which is definitely less than 2 pieces. So 0/8 is less than 2/8. All right, now write a fraction less than, greater than, or equal to the given fraction. So it says here 1/2 is less than some other fraction. Well, remember, in this lesson, we're working with denominators that are the same. So both fractions have to be 2 equal parts total. So 1 is less than what? 2 would work. 3 would work. 4. Anything greater than 1 would work here in this fraction. All right, here we're comparing some fraction is going to be less than 12/6. So we know that both fractions will have 6 equal parts. And we need to have a number of pieces smaller than 12. Well, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Anything less than 12. I'm going to put 9. 9 sixths is less than 12 sixths. 8 eighths. It says it's equal. So if both fractions have 8 parts and they're equal, then the numerator also has to have 8. Some fraction greater than 2/4. So our two fractions have 4 equal parts. I need a numerator greater than 2. Well, 3, 4, 5, keep going, right? So I just put 3/4. You could put 4/4, you could put 5/4, you could put 6/4. Any number greater than 2. 14. Carlos finished 5/8 of his art project on Monday. Tyler finished 7/8 of his art project on Monday. Who finished more of his art project on Monday? So basically we're comparing 5/8 to 7/8. Well, they both have 8 equal parts. So 5 pieces is less than 7 pieces. So 5/8 is less than 7/8. Who finished more? 7/8. Tyler. All right, use reasoning. Miss Endo made 2 loaves of bread that are the same size. Her family ate 1/4 of the banana bread and 3/4 of the cinnamon bread. Which loaf of bread had less left over? Less left over. Well, that implies that which one was eaten, which type of bread had the most eaten, right? If you're going to have the less left over. So we're going to compare 1/4 to 3/4. So again, we have same denominators. This one we have 1 piece was eaten. This one has 3 pieces that were eaten. This one's going to have more pieces left because less of it was eaten. So banana bread, I'm sorry, the banana bread's going to have more left over, right? There's only going to be 1 piece left of this one because they ate 3/4 of it. So the cinnamon bread has less left. Okay, the key word was less left over. The key part of that question was which one had less left over. All right, number 16. Todd and Lisa are comparing fraction strips. Which statements are correct? All right, so is 1 piece less than 4 pieces? Yes, so that's correct. 1/4 is less than 4/4. 5 is 5 pieces less than 4 pieces? No, so that's not correct. 2/3 pieces more than 1/3 piece? Yes, that's true. Is 5/8 5/1/8, so 5 pieces greater than 4 pieces. Yeah, 5 is greater than 4. 17. Gary and Vanessa are comparing fraction. Vanessa models 2/4 and Gary models 3/4. Vanessa writes 3/4 is less than 2/4. Look at Gary's model and Vanessa's model and describe her error. Okay, so in everything we've been doing, we've said that the parts being compared have the same equal parts in both fractions. Well, here, when I look at the one whole, and compare to this one whole, they're not the same. When I look at the size of the fourths, they're not the same. Okay, so if the size of the whole or the size of the equal parts are not the same between both things that we're comparing, you can't compare them that way. So describe Vanessa's error. The models aren't the same. The models are not the same size. Gary's model is smaller than Vanessa's. Explain how to correct Vanessa's error, then show the correct model. So you should say 2/4 is less than 3/4. What's the correct model? Okay, well, so what I'm doing is I'm redrawing both of the models. Okay, so we can call this, should have been Vanessa's model, and this one will be Gary's model. Okay, now in this case, the size of the hole is the same. So Vanessa's model had 2/4 shaded, and Gary's had 3/4 model. So we should see that 2/4 is less than 3/4 because 3/4 is further to the right than 2/4. So how can we explain how to correct her error? We'll make models the same length. Also make the fourths the same size. Shade 2/4 of one and 3/4 of the other to show 2/4 is less than 3/4. All right. So if you make the models the same and the 1/4 size pieces the same, now we can compare them by shading in 2/4 and 3/4. And we should be able to see that 2/4 is less than 3/4. Okay. So that's it for our lesson with comparing fractions with the same denominator. In our next lesson, we're going to compare fractions that have the same numerator. So until then, may the numbers always be in your favor.